to ask you a question, by the way.
Go for it.
Anthony Weiner, my single favorite that you have ever done. And you started to turn on him, and you referenced something that had happened prior to the cameras going, which is something along the lines, in my mind, that he walked in and then was, hey, excuse me, what's your name? Like he didn't know, or something like this. Yeah. And you called it up, but we did. You kind of started us on second base. What happened there?
So we had a podcast prep at the other building that we bought. We turned into a comedy club and a cigar lounge. So.
Yeah, I thought that your seats were all straight. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So like tomorrow, Chris Como, Candace Owens will be at the other club because we'll have a couple hundred people in attendance and we'll do it there. But right before the podcast, I said, this is going to be a very easy interview if he's respectful. If he's disrespectful, then great. And I think I told the three of you
Tom
guys, right?
I believe
it was. Vinny,
I was there. He didn't want me to
you were in the room.
Punch him in his face.
I said, if he goes and plays games, then it's open game. Like we had Jeffrey Toobin here. Okay, you remember Jeffrey Toobin, famous for helping the Zoom stock go up. He was a legendary guy. Guess what? He was a ton of fun. Yep. Didn't play the asshole role. He actually played along for 30 minutes with what happened to him. This guy walks in and he says, what kind of a freaking building is this with a puddle back here and all this shit? And by the way, what's your name? And he starts doing this. He literally said
that. Yeah. What is your name?
And attempting to be funny by any chance?
No.
0%.
So the more I said, what's wrong with the bill? I said, you know what? I can't stand a freaking landlord, to be honest with you. He's an asshole. Yeah. And he says, really? I said, yeah, he's a total asshole. He's so hard to do. Now, I own the building. Sure. This is like, he doesn't. He's like, really? I said, yeah, who the hell would have a water puddle outside with rain and all this bullshit? I can't stand working with the guy, but we're figuring it out. And he says, oh, hey, buddy. Hey, pal. Was the word. Hey, pal, what's your name? And then from there, hey, you're not going to fly from New York to another place and pull off the oldest trick with a girl. Hey, Mary, her name is Ginger, or, how you doing, Mary? You doing that? No problem. Open game. I love it. Let's go see how this thing turns out. And obviously it became one of my favorite podcasts of all time. We had a wonderful time together.
Yeah, and you're coming here. You're the guy that's trying to have sex with 15-year-olds. Yeah. Well, you can't come in here with an attitude like you only. He's like, if I was the mayor, I do this and I do this. And bro, mind you, Chael, I'm in the there's not an audience. I'm just sitting there like, no wonder why Pat didn't want to have me on this podcast. I would have punched him in his face.
Yeah, and he tried to backpedal, be like, no, I didn't know if you wanted to be called Pat or Patrick.
No,
he
knew what he was doing.
What's your name?
He knew what he was doing. He's a demon.
I called him a douchebag to his face. Look, we've done, what number are we on podcast episode is this? 377.
Okay.
Nobody has ever walked in a room and just disrespected PBD or any of us prior to the podcast. You saw you walked in, hey, what's up, bro? Just be nice.
It's not, I don't like, for example, Antonio Brown was disrespectful, okay? And when we went through it with him, it was a complete different thing where I'm sitting there saying, dude, I really think you have CTE and I'm worried about you, right? Like I was sincerely concerned about this guy because the way he was acting, I'm like, you were not like this pre the hit with Cincinnati Bengals. What was the guy's name?
Perfect.
Not Perfect. No, it's Brazil. Is that what the guy's name? Okay.
Yeah, the guy from Bengals.
So when he got hit, I'm like, something's changed.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find out what this guy's. And by the way, recently Antonio Brown's come out and said, I do have CTE.
Straight up, he said that?
Yeah, go pull up. And Antonio says, blame CTE on former teammate. This is a year ago. He finally, after the podcast came out and says, I have CTE.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
man.
so he finally came out and said it. This is one of the reasons Dylan is concerned about playing football after watching the interview with Antonio Brown. So that is different. I understand. You're going through stuff. Totally get it. But Weiner is very, very smart. I don't know if you've ever sized this guy up. By the way, smart, shrewd, great debater. He had the legs to go up. He was a performer. He could have one day be a president. He would have been the mayor of New York, but he had what it took to run to be a president until, he ended up doing what he's doing. And by the way, do you know who twice? And do you know who his ex-wife is dating right now?
No, who?
Alex Soros.
Really?
Yeah. Soros' son.
Uma Abedin is with Dr. Evil's son.
Yeah. So what was your thoughts on the interview with Weiner?
Here's what I gathered. So you're telling me if the girl's name is Ginger, you walk up and say, hi, Jill.
Yeah.
Like you, to disarm her.
It's
like,
called negging.
I don't even remember.
It's called negging.
Now, I've done that to the point, like the ex-boyfriend, right? His name's Jack. And you go, hey, how's John doing? Like to act like you don't care. But you're saying you do it to the actual girl. That is fascinating.
Well,
Can I tell you my move?
Yeah.
I did that. If you hear somebody
I'm so curious.
This,
go for it.
If you hear somebody
for a happily married guy, I want to hear it.
Yes.
I'm taking notes, Chael.
To my hot-ass wife, Brittany. I had said hello to her, and she disappeared. She was not not interested. The Chael charm was not working. And we were in a 3-story building. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm not good at the walk up. I'm better when they walk up to me. And I remember thinking to myself, what if that's the girl I'm supposed to marry? Which is a very weird thought. But I did have that. And I went through this whole building and I found her. I said, excuse me. And I said, I've got to make a phone call. Do you have a phone I can borrow? And just as a nice person, she gave me her phone. Well, my phone was in my back pocket, called myself. So when it vibrates, then I know I've got her number. Now this dude walks up who I haven't seen in 9 years, and he's my friend and my former teammate at Team Quest, Ryan. And Ryan puts his arm around her, and I said, Ryan, let me introduce you. Ryan, nice to see you again after 10 years. Let me introduce you to my new friend, Brittany. And he turns her around and looks over his shoulder at me and says, quit talking to my sister.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Oh, man.
yeah.
Ryan.
Oh, my God. Look at that.
But my intentions are good. Look at that girl.
So now
Is that a
Ryan's-
fine woman?
now
Be
Ryan's-
honest,
full.
that woman is fire right
Jeez.
there. That is straight fire,
Yeah.
this girl.
Well, now I understand why LeBron was looking at her chest.
That's America right
Can't
there.
blame LeBron.
and now Ryan is your brother-in-law.
Yes, right.
That's amazing.
We're not
Wait
disparaging
a minute. You've
LeBron.
known Ryan for 10 years. You did not know this was his sister?
Didn't even know she existed. He never brought her around.
Well, that's what
look at
brothers
her,
do.
bro.
They,
That's
they
what-
keep,
Yeah.
her,
Gorgeous.
keep her hidden.
The last thing he's going to do is Chael. This is my sister. Why don't you? Yeah.
Good. So by the way,
Sick move with
so
the
then
phone,
you're
though, by
not
the
just
way.
good in fighting and selling fights. You're also good at selling.
Stud.
Yeah,
I like looking at
respect.
her. I like that photo. Thank you for bringing it up.
just
Now,
leave
that
that
woman
there?
is I am not tired of her.
Now you
got to
get her-
I'm not tired of this girl yet.